Where were you born and where were you raised?
I was born in Toronto, North York. I was raised in Brampton and then, back downtown.
Was there a defining moment in your life that made you say, this is what I'm going to do?
Yeah, it was when I was an intern at Much Music is when I decided I wanted to be a filmmaker. Before that, I was, thought I was going to be a graphic designer. Before that, I thought I was going to draw comic books. And then seeing the camera and the lighting and just something about it made me realize that this was something I could do.
Do you remember some of the first pieces of film equipment that you learned to use?
I remember learning Avid. I remember when Avid came out, big computer, learning that. I remember learning how to use a 3/4 deck to edit on that. So it was really learning how to edit that brought me into the world of specialized equipment, specialized software.
How does being a director enhance your life?
You have to, as a director, you start to look at how things, why does a relationship, say, fall apart? Why does a relationship come together? Why does someone fall in love? Why do, the questions behind why people do what they do. And what I say to people a lot is that a director has to be conscious of the subconscious. What's it going to mean if I put this in red? What's it going to mean if I put this in green? I want to get a feeling of loneliness across. The things that build shots, that build stories, that build performances, you as a director have to dig into. So as you do these things, you're able to shape these things, the shots, the stories, the performances, all the things that a director has to put his hands on and create for the audience. You need to know how they work back here in the brain for people to enjoy it up in the front part. You know what I mean?
Where has directing allowed you to travel?
I've traveled. I've been in Jamaica, India, England, Trinidad, all over America, South Africa, Canada. I think that would cover Budapest, Prague.
Did you like school?
Yeah, once I hit high school and I could shape what school was going to be for me. I mean, once you go, what class do you want? When you started choosing your own classes, then I began to shape it into something that furthered me.
Do you have a favorite book?
I don't think I have a particular favorite book. There's a bunch I've read. Don't read a lot of fiction. I read a lot of technical books to get here. I love me a comic book. Yeah, let's put comic books up there. The Dark Knight Returns. It's my favorite book. So I know people, that's not a book, but yeah, it is a book. That every Batman movie, every single one of the new batch has ripped off the Batman Returns. You know what I'm saying? The Dark Knight Returns, they've ripped it off in some way. Story-wise, the stuff he did with the televisions to tell stories, the tale he wove, the imagination of taking these characters we know and logically moving them forward and mapping this world. It changed everything. It changed all comic books, changed the way we saw him for these movies. The Dark Knight Returns is a masterpiece comic book. So yeah, it's a comic book. It's still a book. It counts.
A favorite movie?
Favorite movie? I don't know why I want to say Fight Club right now, but I'm going to say Fight Club right now. I have my top 10s and stuff like that, and I don't get snobby about it, right? Like Empire Strikes Back is one of my favorite movies. Terminator 2 is actually one of my favorite movies. That's Terminator 2. That's Citizen Kane was a much more fuck off. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't get snobby with me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, people want to put their nose in the air. Die Hard was a great movie. I like movies. I like things that people actually enjoy, not things they have to pretend they enjoy. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, when it comes to like their favorite movies, play the Emperor's New Clothes, right? Everyone thinks the Emperor's outfit is great. He's naked. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I like actual hot movies, bro. You know what I'm saying? Matrix. We can go top 10, top 5. I like these kinds of things. Like, they're intelligent, they fun, you believed it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm good on art house. So if you want to get art house, Elite Squad, City of God. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You can go get artsy fartsy on that.
How do you feel about the state of hip hop?
State of hip hop. The state of the union is, I'm not gonna be the fuddy-duddy. I don't get angry at kids for having their own expression. I never thought the music would go here, but here we are, right? What do you expect? It's very interesting. Hip hop has stayed in money, clothes, and hose mode for a long time. Used to be able to watch the topics change, but the whole world is in that mode. I think. I don't know if you know The Real World, that show.
This is the true story. True story. True story.
The first Real World was like a bunch of kids who came together and they're all political and they got into arguments about like black versus white and society, and they're all very engaged in what's going on around them. Then the next one, they had a kid who had AIDS and another, and they're still very, and you watched as society went from kids who are super engaged in the world, super engaged in their community, to let's get drunk and have sex.
Why is that, do you think?
The Iraq War. In the Iraq War, the people with the defense contracts owned the radio stations. So the people with the defense contracts said to the radio stations, don't play any more political music. So when they pulled out the political music, what filled the void was more foolishness. So, you used to have Rage Against the Machine, System of the Down. There always used to be there'd always be these songs. So what filled the void was all this foolishness. So it's just a constant pumping. Like, if you give a kid pancakes every morning, it shouldn't be a surprise when he gets fat. Right, and that's why now you begin to hear these like I Believe in Me songs, because the I Believe in Me songs that you're hearing on the radio now are filling in the void of once was socially conscious music. Remember, we used to have that music. They just pulled it out, and they never sent a memo like, "Oh, we did the war. You can have political music again." They just said, "All right, that's off." So now we're just getting this constant stream of party music.
Growing up in Canada, were you aware of CanCon rules?
Not really.
Canadian artists are currently at the top of the international charts. How did that happen?
Surprisingly enough, not with CanCon. Justin Bieber wasn't a CanCon artist. Drake was not a CanCon artist. And The Weeknd not a CanCon artist. None of these people came in none of them came in like, oh, I'm on Canadian radio, and then went into the United States. They all came into the United States. So, I can appreciate Canadians saying you got to play Canadian music, but there is, bro, it is, it is what it is.
So what does that mean for young Canadian artists?
It's great to get out there and make your music, and even, listen, if no one's rocking with you, it doesn't matter how much they play you on the radio. All right, you can make someone play something on the radio, or you can say, all right, this much has to be Canadian, and they have to now pull the best songs they can. But if they don't like you, ain't no one coming to your show. Can't make that happen. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you either got the goods or you don't. What I've seen really pay off has been the government programs. Like, growing up, there's a program called Fresh Arts. Bunch of those kids that I knew from Fresh Arts all went on to be on the radio. Some of them went on television. Some of them, I did something like an offshoot of that. I went off to do something. Cardinal was in that There's a bunch of kids who did that, and I saw that grow into something. It's good to support the arts. You never know. There's someone said something, an executive said, 50% of my advertising money is wasted. I just don't know which 50. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to fund the arts. It's good to support the arts. Which thing is going to be the thing that connects with a kid that has some talent that puts them in the right thing and makes it all happen? Is it the program? Is it CanCon? I don't know. But it's good. It's always good to support the art, and then you let the chips fall where they may.
These days, so many artists are self-recorded and self-produced. What does the future of the record industry look like?
At some point, the record industry, they're not doing what they did, but at some point you get tired of hustling and scraping to do your video and do your photo shoot. It's good to have some folks like, here's some money. Oh, here's a video. I got a big idea. All right, well, here's some, you know what I mean? So there's always going to be a place for management in music and people with connections and people who can do business and people who already have a system in place for themselves.
You were involved in the classic hip-hop movie Belly. What was your role on that film?
I drew storyboards for Belly.
So you got your big break interning for Hype Williams. What was that experience like? What did you learn, and how did you hook up with Hype?
It was a great experience. I learned a lot about the business, the game, how a director, a truly talented director, how they operate what kind of things we're on top of. And I got that internship through real persistence, man. Like, it's it disappoints me when I get a DM on my Instagram and it's let me read you some of my DMs. This is what passes for hustling nowadays. If you do this, and this shows me everything I need to know about a kid's hustle. It's hey, Director X, could I be in your team? Hey, I'm looking for a mentor to teach me their skills, and I was wondering if you do anything like that. Director X, you need to give me a chance. Hey, X, are you in need of a personal assistant? I am very reliable and organized with great multitasking skills. Not enough multitasking skills to get to my website and actually email someone on my team, and not multitasking enough to be persistent. But, I DM'd you. That's not hustling, man. But I had to do the find Hype Williams. I had to go. I didn't have Google. I had a Vibe magazine with an article. And then I had to send a bunch of stuff to the person who wrote the article. And then I had to call the person until they finally got a hold of them, to ask them to give me a phone number or give me some kind of contact. To get to him, they gave me a phone number for his office. They hung up on me, and then I had to redo it. And call them up. What's your address? I want to send you a package. Here it is. Did you get the package? 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 Yes, we got the package. Did you look at it? No. Did you look at the package? Did you look at the package? Did you look at the like? You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta hustle, man. And in my business, and we're all in production here, if you ain't got the hustle to be persistent to get a hold of me, or get in the game, you ain't going to be persistent enough to say, when I need these shoes cleaned for the next shot, or I need this thing for the next shot, or I need this for there is no I didn't get it done, because not getting done means we got to wait for you to actually get it done, because we're not going to take a half-ass fucking response to it. Well, he couldn't get it done, I guess we'll just shoot. No. You feel what I'm saying? Now it's money. Now it's this. Like, that's what I'm looking for. Oh, X, I went and I couldn't find it, but I hopped a fence and I flew, and then I asked a guy, and then I jumped into an airplane, and that. But so here's the thing. Yeah. Here's the thing. That's production. You get it done.
I was at the Prism Prize Awards, and before Cardi presented you the Special Achievement Award, he said they used to call you Lil X and then Lil Vex.
When I first met him, he was somebody that was militant, very militant. He was very Afrocentric. He was a poet. He was an artist. He was somebody that instilled in the community a sense of pride, a sense of craft, a sense of legacy, somebody that stood for something. He wasn't just a director that wanted to direct videos and make money. He was somebody that believed in our community and constantly reinstilled and reinforced amazing values. And when he got the opportunity to do that with his film, he took those same things that we lived in the community and brought it to life, but he made you look at it a different type of way. When I got my first record deal, I got the opportunity to have one of my, I guess, most famous songs, Old Time Killin', be directed by Lil X. We called him Lil Vex at the time because he was super militant.
I mean, this was the X-Clan days. We were all young, black, and angry. You know what I'm saying? Same thing young black folks are angry about now. We're mad about police. We're mad about, you know what I mean? We're mad about the whole thing. So, yeah, man, we're in that. This was the Public Enemy times, bro. This, like I said, there was a time when hip hop, a political group, was on the radio. They were stars. Public Enemy, Paris, like X-Clan, like it was in the music. You could hear a socially conscious voice. And then they just pulled that plug.
So I want to talk about your debut feature film, Across the Line. It was very powerful. What inspired you to direct this movie?
The producer Floyd Kane came to me, said he had this script that he wanted to work on, and a movie that he had funding to do and wanted me to direct it. So we started the conversation and started putting it together.
Can you tell us about the history of North Preston?
So North Preston is, when you go to school and say, oh, Canada had the Underground Railroad.
Right.
And then they kind of leave it at that. Well, those people stayed and lived here. And North Preston is one of those places. So you have families like Floyd Kane, the writer and producer. He's from North Preston. He's from East Preston, which is another, but he's from Nova Scotia. His family's been there since the 1700s, 1800s. 1700s, 1800s. The black people in Nova Scotia are more Canadian than probably anyone in this room. It's not, they're in great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents type thing. It's a really interesting community and very far away. North Preston is at the end of a road at the end of a road. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't go to North Preston unless you were going to North Preston. There's no grocery stores there. There's homes and a community center, and that has a vending machine if you want a snack. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And from my understanding, there's like a land dispute there.
I ain't heard about that. I wouldn't be surprised.
Black people pay taxes. Black people pay municipal taxes for property taxes. Black people living in North Preston pay taxes as well on their land, and yet they don't have clear and unequivocal title to their land in many cases. Citizenship is a two-way deal. You're supposed to be an active citizen, abide by laws, pay your taxes, act legally, but you're supposed to receive certain services in exchange for that, from authorities, including municipal and provincial and federal authorities. And one of them is to be treated equally. And clearly we have a situation here that goes back to the 1800s, when black people have been promised over and over again land and title to the land and assistance in gaining title to the land that they've been inhabiting for centuries that they still don't have. So it's appalling that in the year 2015, people who've been on this land since the War of 1812, still don't have unequivocal title to land that they've been inhabiting. So of course, I realize that it's I'm sure a bureaucratic quagmire, and I'm not saying it's going to be easy to resolve, but the province has an obligation to respond to the needs of black residents who clearly have been there for a couple hundred years and who clearly have a right to their land and who've been paying taxes for it. So their situations need to be regularized. They need to be honored, and they need to be engaged and allowed to be full citizens like anybody else. And that involves assisting them in clarifying this muddle and allowing them to have what all other Canadians aspire to have, which is ownership to the land that they've been paying taxes on.
Listen, man, white folks and black folks in history, we all know what that is. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if someone's trying to steal their shit.
It kind of reminds me of Africville.
It is Africville. This is before. So the North Preston is the oldest and largest community. You have East Preston. There's little pockets of little black communities. Africville, the shot of the bridge in across the line was shot from Africville, from what once was Africville.
Yeah.
So Africville was on the other side, was on the Halifax side of, Nova Scotia. There's Dartmouth and then there's Halifax. And there was this little town of black folks. They lived, right beside the bridge on the water. And I think it was in the 50s or 60s, they came and bulldozed it and made a park.
Just a flat piece of grass.
Yeah, well, there's a plaque now.
Well, for dog owners in Halifax, it's been one of the most controversial decisions Halifax City Council has made this year. The decision to close Africville Park has had many dog owners wondering where they might be able to walk their dogs off leash in the future.
In a trail, little bike trail, you could go jogging. That's what they did. So yeah, I'm not surprised they're trying to steal their fucking land. Sounds like some shit they'd fucking do. Fuckers.
It appears that systemic racism has never gone away, especially in these times where we're seeing more and more cases of African Americans being killed by police. You have Donald Trump and the media stirring up racial tensions. What do you think is next for the world?
We're going to hit our breaking point. We're pushing right now to our rock bottom, right? But we're in the new millennium. So a lot of folks were, the world's going to end on midnight of 2000, and it didn't happen. They're like, I told you that was bullshit. And then, the world's going to end on 2012, and I told you it was bullshit. For those of us in the spiritual world, we never said the world was ending. We said the world was going to change.
A new age.
A new age. But you got to go through that. So the beginning, there is a line in the sand when 2000 came down. 9/11, and we're in our perpetual war. Winter ended. Now we're in our climate change. Now we're in our natural disasters. All these things started happening after 2000, right? So you go up a hill and then you go down a hill. And right now we're going down the hill. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then we got to hit bottom. And we're going to hit bottom around 2024.
And what do you think will happen there?
New world.
Some people have mixed feelings about how to protect themselves from police. How do you feel about what took place in Dallas with the police being shot at?
Well, let's get to what's been happening. That's a snapping point. It's not just that finally. How many killings before someone actually really snapped? Right? You had 2 cops that got shot in New York, but how many times you got to see people get killed and nothing happened? Nothing. I guarantee the Anton guys, those guys are getting off. Maybe the cop that shot the guy in the car, right? The Falcon Heights shooting, Phillips, when Philip got shot,
Yeah.
he might go down. He's also Chinese. You know what I'm saying? So they'll probably take him down. But Tamir Rice,
Yeah.
in what world is driving up on the grass, jumping out of the car, and shooting someone immediately proper police work? And those guys got caught. Oh yeah, well they had to do on camera. Meanwhile, you saw the one with the white man who has the gun and literally points it at police. And they get the shield and they walk in formation and they walk up on the guy and they do the whole thing. Little black kid, they roll up and shoot him and no one gets in trouble. That's good police work. You all just don't understand. Fuck that. And then they're like, how could this happen? We don't how many times you gonna see this happen before they snap? The man's sitting in his car with a seatbelt on. Bam, bam, bam. The police are psychopathic. They're psychopaths. They're out of control. And don't think because we're in Canada, I ain't forgotten the motherfucking, what is it, G20? I remember the G20. Psychopathic. Charging people who are singing the national anthem. They're psychopaths. They all need to meditate. That's actually my very real solution. They need to meditate. Mandated. In the morning, sit down, meditate. And if you don't want to meditate, you don't get to be a cop. Real fucking simple. The work has been done, the studies have been done, what meditation does for the brain, the growth of gray matter, the calmness, and all those things. Go and meditate. I know it's a stressful job, but that doesn't excuse your fucking superhero shit. They all think they're gonna be fucking in an action movie. 2 guns, slow motion. You know what I'm saying? Saving their girl and their partner's dead and they kill 20 drug dealers all in one day. That ain't happening, bro. It ain't never, ever happening. Stop it. Go and meditate. They have to meditate.
These days, it seems people are starting to open up about systemic racism. What do you think is the role of the artist in this day and age?
The role of the artist is more than just to entertain. It's, you pick your path. You could do the inspirational piece. What would the world be without Star Trek? If someone didn't make the art that inspired the thinkers and the inventors, right? Mm-hmm. Where would we be without Do the Right Thing? Sometimes a piece got to rile you up. You know what I'm saying? It's got to make you think. There's a lot of places for the artist to go where the art can influence what's going on and give voice to what's happening. So as artists, we get to say something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's our role, is what we're supposed to do. My message to the creatives is do it. You know what I mean? You got to go out. If you want to shoot, whatever it is you're trying to do, you should do it. Especially now, there's no excuse. Before, when I started doing film, I needed film. I needed, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't so simple. I couldn't just edit. All this equipment was out of reach. Someone had to fund it. Now you can do it on your computer. You can use your phone. If you want to make music, you can. All this stuff is right there in your hands. Anybody can do it now. So just go out and do it. Go out and do it. You know what I mean? And approach the canvas as pure as possible. You know what I mean? You approach the canvas with a pure heart as an artist to express. No ego, no intention or calculation, like I'm gonna make a hit. That's impure and it messes up the art. You can walk with some hope. I want to inspire. You know what I'm saying? Not this will make people inspired. Oh man, oh, you know what I mean? There's inspiration and passion and love and purity, and that's how you approach your art. And when you do that, you make art that hopefully can engage people. They'll feel that energy in it.
What role does spirituality play in your life?
A lot.
Is there any type of religion that you practice or?
I'm a numerologist.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Numbers are sacred.
Yeah. Do you ever have like reoccurring numbers pop out at you? Nothing like that?
I mean, I'm a real numerologist. I'm like, man, I see 1111 all the time, man. It must mean that everything. No.
Can you elaborate a bit more?
What's your birthday?
March 27th.
March 22nd?
27th.
27th? That's the third. March is the third month?
Yeah.
So 3 plus 27, that's 27's a 9.
Yeah.
9.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. You're in a 4 cycle this year.
You know.
A 4 cycle.
Okay.
So this is a year you really work. You have to, it's like growing roots. You imagine a plant. This year you're growing roots. It's a very hard year for you. You should be saving your money. You shouldn't be doing anything new. You should be working on things you've already started. Last year, you should have had something happen to you that you've been working towards for maybe about 3 years, but you had something good happen last year. That's like, oh, all right, it's coming together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they call that the promise of things to come. So you imagine you're a plant. Last year, you know those 2 little leaves that break ground?
Yep.
You had 2 leaves that broke ground last year. Something happened, maybe around September. This year, you're digging roots. And you entered into that stage after July 18th last year. So it's been a year and a half, or will be a year and a half of this kind of focus. And then as you move into your next year, those roots that you dug will launch your tree up. What happened to you last year?
Good or bad? I went through a lot last year.
Mm-hmm. Anything promising? Anything you've been working towards?
Yeah. I think we're here right now.
Ain't that interesting?